Welcome back to the Beauty Body Balance Podcast. Hi, I'm Dr. Erin Lucie at Luminate Clinic, and today I'm going to talk to you and introduce you to somebody very special, our nurse injector, Maritza. She comes to us with a vibrant background. She was actually in pediatric bedside at the hospital, and then I invited her in to work with me as an injector, and she worked with me for several months side by side, learning anatomy and physiology, and facial balancing is really where her skill set is. So I want you to meet Maritza and everything she does and all the passion that she brings to Luminate Clinic. So welcome to this episode of Beauty Body Balance. Meet Maritza.
Hi, I'm Maritza. I'm the nurse injector at Luminate. I've been here for almost 4 years.
Yeah.
This job fell out of the sky, and it's the best thing ever.
As you guys all know, I started out the clinic by myself, and my husband and I decided not to have a baby the first year that we were in business, and God had different plans for us, and he gave us a baby, and I thought, what am I going to do? This baby was due in September, and September is the busiest time of the year. Going into the fall, we have like all the holiday parties and all. It's so busy. October, November, December. And I thought, I'm going to have to hire another injector to fill in for me. And one of my friends recommended Maritza. And then we had coffee and I hired her.
And the rest is history.
Yeah.
I've been here since then.
Yeah. So she started at the beginning of February, right? Mm-hmm. And so we were able to train for a full 7 months. And really came in, and she did her, where did you do your Botox training?
New York City.
New York City.
We went for the holidays.
Yeah. I said, you have to get certified before I start training you. So she went to New York over Christmas.
It was my excuse. It's like, I have to go get trained. It's either Nashville or New York City. Let's go to New York City.
Nashville or New York City?
Yeah.
Yeah, great choice.
So we went to New York City instead. I dragged my husband and my kiddo with me. That's beautiful. Fun.
So it's always good to do, the Botox training is like a weekend course typically. Mm-hmm. And this is where when you see injectors, you're like, oh, did they go to a weekend course? How long have they been injecting? What's going on? Because you can get certified in Botox in a weekend. Mm-hmm. And it's then the next day you do your filler training. Mm-hmm. So you do one on a Friday or one on a Saturday or Saturday and Sunday. And typically, I know I actually did mine in Beverly Hills, and I spent a full week out there with a plastic surgeon. And I'm really grateful that I spent that time doing that. But you can go to a weekend course, and it's great just to get the certification and have your piece of paper. But then there's so much training that goes in beyond that initial certification. So you always want to ask your injector, where'd you get certified and how long have you been injecting? And so you know exactly what their training is, because I wasn't going to have her do a weekend certification class right before I went on maternity leave and then leave her with all my patients. So she had to work here for a long time before she was just left
to it's
her
scary.
own.
It's scary to think that people do that.
Yeah.
They just do their weekend training and start messing with people's faces.
Mm-hmm. So she started out in bedside, as I think we all did.
Yeah.
I kind of did. I started out in internal medicine. Or skincare first, then internal medicine. But I never actually worked in a hospital other than my clinicals. So tell me about why you wanted to transition into aesthetics and kind of how that came about.
So I started in the bedside in 2015. I was only 19. I started as a nurse tech on a pediatric floor, and I loved it. I loved working with kids. I did my nursing school, stayed on the same floor. But as the years went by, you get burned out. You get really burned out of being at the bedside. You get to live people's worst days over and over and over again, and eventually it just really takes a toll on your mental health. And then I had my first baby. She was born during COVID. I had to go back to bedside, working weekend nights, and it was just terrible. I was always tired. I never got to see her. And unfortunately, I kind of lost that love that I had for pediatrics, as terrible as it sounds, because the world just changed so much.
I think pediatrics is hard. When I did my rotation, I thought it was really hard, because not only do you have this baby or this child that can't communicate with you, you're taking care of this infant, and then you also have to take care of the parents. Yeah. So it's
some
doubling.
Parents can be intense. Yeah. And then once you have your own kids, you're like, oh my gosh, things are so much more difficult to process, because you're this could happen to my baby, this could happen to my baby, this could happen to my baby. So I just needed to get out of there.
I have heard that before, that a lot of nurses that don't have kids work in peds, and then as soon as you do have kids, you're like, I can't
do this anymore.
Because then you're imagining that happening to your child.
And it's so hard to like go home and like love on your baby when you know somebody that you were just with a few hours ago is like literally their life is falling apart because their kid is so sick.
Yeah.
So I knew aesthetics, like I found out aesthetics was done by nurses when I was in nursing school, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. But I was like 21, knew nothing about nothing. But then eventually, like once I like really wanted to get out of bedside, I really started like looking into it, like certifications, how to do this, how to do that, like what all entails into it. And I was like, this is so much more difficult than I thought. And like my mom was like, oh, just go take a weekend course and then find a job. I'm like, Mom, that's terrifying. These are people's faces. I just can't do that. So then your friend, she worked with me. I love her to death. We worked together for a lot of years.
Shout out to Casey.
Thanks, Casey. I remember it was like the worst shift ever, and we were finally having lunch at 3 a.m. and I was like, I need to get out of here. I hate this place. And she's like, oh, what would you do? I was like, aesthetics. I want to do aesthetics. And she was like, I have a friend that's hiring. I was like, shut the front door. She like pulled out
she texted me like right at 3 a.m.
She was like, let me text her right now. I'm like, no, it's 3 a.m. She's like, no, she won't see it until the morning. And fair enough, I went home, went to sleep, totally forgot about it. But then I woke up like at noon.
I'm like texting you at 7.
Yeah, I woke up at noon and I had a text from her. And she was like, this is Erin Lucie. Want to meet for coffee? I was like, oh my gosh. So we met. She told me what I needed to do and we made the full transition. And the first thing she told me was like, don't quit your job. Because it takes a long time to learn and to build your clientele. So for almost 2 years, I was working 2 nights at the hospital and 2 or 3 days here. Like, I thought I was going to die, but it was so worth it.
It's hard. And I think we've talked about this on other episodes that you have to have you have to be able to talk to patients, communicate with them, and really build that rapport. And that was one of the things that was really nerve-wracking for me is because I've already had these patients for like 10 years and it's like having to like go on maternity leave and like transition them over to you while I'm gone because I took, several weeks, months off for maternity leave. It's like you have to have that ability, and Maritza has this incredible ability to connect with patients. And my patients that saw her while I was on maternity leave, they never came back to me.
Like, it's so funny because she's like, has so-and-so been here forever? I'm like, yeah, I saw them yesterday.
Yeah, they just stayed with her. I'm like, okay, well, I'll get
and that was
new patients, I guess.
The most nerve-wracking part for me because I'm like, these people have trusted you for 10, 15 years. Like, what if I totally mess up your relationship with them by like messing them up? But so far, they're still here.
Yeah.
They
she
like
hasn't
us both.
messed anybody up.
I haven't messed anybody up. Knock on wood.
And Maritza has an incredible eye for facial balancing. And that's something that I think that like I can teach, but there's some things that you just have to have a gift for. I know when I did my Botox and filler training, we were looking at, they had all these slides on the screen of like what not to do. And there were people in there, providers in there that were like, oh yeah, that looks good. And this, I'm like, no, this is what not to do. And so you have to have some sort of an aesthetic eye of like what looks beautiful and what is in proportion and the balancing. And Maritza has a really incredible eye that I haven't even like had to teach that to her. I don't know. But I don't think that I've taught you a lot of that. Like the facial balancing, she's really done on her own and is doing her clients like on her own.
Yeah, the first thing you told me was like, you have to be an artist. Like, what?
I'm
a nurse. We don't do art.
You're an artist now.
We do science.
You're
but
an
I really
artist.
had to like wrap my brain around and it'd be like WWED. What would Erin do? And like just really see people's faces. And honestly, a lot of what I see is like, what do we not want?
Yes, like how do we get rid of that shadow
without making you look crazy? Because that's the last thing. People are so scared of filler and just injectables in general because we see all these terrible results on like social media, singers, actresses that just look crazy, and people are like, but please don't make me look like this. Please don't make me look like this. So my approach is just like, let's make you look like you, but just refreshed and you had a really good night's sleep and nobody can even tell that you did anything unless you tell them you did.
Yeah. It's like fillers, there's a saying that says fillers should be undetectable.
Yeah.
Injectables should be undetectable. And that's like if somebody's had really great filler work or injection work, you're not going to be able to tell. And one of the things I love doing, actually, I watched the Selena documentary this weekend.
Me too.
And it's like, I mean, this was like 1989, 1990. And she's gorgeous. Like her face is perfect. Her body is perfect. Teeth are perfect. Like everything. She's just like so perfect. And so it's nice being able to watch older movies. Like over Halloween, we watched The Birds and all these beautiful actresses. Like we watched all the Alfred Hitchcock movies. And those women are just perfect. And you don't have to sit there and be like,
what did they do?
What did they do? Like they did nothing.
Nothing.
And so it's nice to have that perspective of like, this is what a natural woman looks like. Because now we're inundated with like Instagram and TikTok and all this stuff where like when I first started injecting lips or when I was in art school, lips, this is how like Michelangelo wants your lips, 1/3 upper, 2/3 lower. And that is the proportions, the golden rule. And then now it's like Instagram has like, it used to be like, 50-50, like 50-50 with lips. And then it went a little bit, you're going to have a bigger upper lip. And then I think that part is kind of going away, those trends. But it's nice to kind of have like that artist perspective of like what true beauty should be and the golden rule and the rule of threes and really looking at like natural beauty, like Selena and like this is the way proportion should be.
Look. Yeah. And that's what people want. I really love how people have stepped away from like, let me be super filled. Because it's like filling you up is not going to really
fix the problem.
Unless we're filling up the correct area. And people love that we're honest with them. Because sometimes people are like, well, I need this or this. And I'm like, no. And they're like, oh, you just said no to me? Yeah.
It's interesting from like just like a business Google SEO standpoint. We get a lot of calls for thread lifts, and we don't advertise thread lifts.
Everybody wants thread lifts.
Everybody wants thread lifts, and a thread lift is where we put like a plastic polymer, basically it's suture material under the skin, and then we lift it, right? And we do a lot of thread lifts. We do, but
it's not for everybody.
It's not for everybody. And it's definitely not your first go-to. Like the thread lift is great for repositioning after the skin is tight, after the pores are closed, after the pigment's gone, after the veins are gone. Like once the skin's been resurfaced, once we've replaced the collagen, if we need repositioning, then we'll do a thread lift. But it's just really fascinating that everybody thinks they need Botox and thread lifts. And it's like, no, that's not where we start.
And it's like 99% of the consoles that we get for thread lifts, it's like, that's not going to do anything for you.
Right.
At all.
Nothing.
And then I'm just like, I mean, I can take your money.
Yeah.
And then people are like, no. I'm like, exactly.
So in the world of aesthetics, Maritza, is it definitely like much more than you thought, I was going to do Botox?
Yes. When I first walked in, then you were like, I have this laser and this device and this and that and threads. And I was like, oh my God.
And you have to learn it all.
I just spent a weekend learning about Botox and filler, but you have like 27 machines that I need to learn on top of that too.
Yes.
Which I love because I really learned how to see that is not a quick fix. We have to go so much more deeper than just the injectables. We have to fix that collagen. We have to restore the volume. We have to fix the fat pads because it's not just a quick, easy fix that people think it is. And you see all those, everybody thinks like, oh my gosh, Lindsay Lohan looks amazing. Lindsay Lohan probably had a bunch of lasers and is doing all these other things, Sculptra and Radius and who knows what else Lindsay Lohan's doing.
She did a little bit of everything.
She didn't just do a little Botox to fix herself. In the contrary, before she was probably just doing a little bit of Botox.
Yeah.
And
it's all the things.
It's all the things. And it's just learning how to use your tools correctly and in what order. And just seeing your canvas as a whole, because not everybody's the same. Because we also get that a lot. Like, oh, well, my friend had this, and this done. Well, like, you don't need at all any of the things that your friend had.
Right.
And unfortunately, a lot of other providers will be like, hey, let's do whatever your friend did. But they're not going to get the same results because it's not what they need.
Right. That's one of the things that I appreciate about Maritza and like just us as a clinic is that we are not what we call we're kind of not a McDonald's. We're not order takers. Patients come in and they say, oh, my friend had this done or my friend had this done or I want this done. I want a thread lift. I want this done. No, we're not going to do it. And that's something you need to look for in a provider, somebody that will tell you no and tell you what you need to get you the results and like get you to your goals.
Yeah,
for sure. Well, I want to thank you, Maritza, for being here today. If her story resonated with you, if you know anybody that's interested in aesthetics and you want to introduce them to Maritza or our clinic, please share this with them. And we will see more of Maritza when we talk about Botox and filler on our upcoming episodes. So thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.